Kia ora koutou. Started strong with one solid trade on AMST and was up $17 and feeling good. But instead of walking away, I stuck around, took a few more trades and gave it all back. I'll walk you through all 5 trades in today's recap. The good entries, the mistakes, and the mindset that flipped a green morning into a red close. So when I got up and opened up my software, AMST was the stock I saw straight away. And literally just after pushing record on my recording software, it broke VWAP and broke above $3. Pulled back and I jumped in on this first trade here at $3.13. So if I bring the video up here, let's push play on this. So here it is, breaking up through VWAP, and boom, volume came in there, good volume, pushed up over $3 up to about $3.14, $3.20, pulled back there, and I was like, yep, I need to get in on this, and I wasn't even ready, and there, I was in. I bought 74 shares, and I don't know why, but I miskeyed. Did I? 75 shares. I think it was 74. Oh no, 75. Yeah, 75 shares at 3.13. It pushed up to, yeah, so basically it was pretty much working, resolving straight off the bat to the long side. It did put in did pull back on the top of that candle, but I thought about taking it there, but I thought, no, I'll wait. I'm too good at selling too soon. But then it pushed over 330. I put a sell order out for 336 and got filled. It did go over 336. I think it did make it to 340. Just made it to 340 there and then started pulling back and going into consolidation around that level. So it was good solid entry here on the pullback, and you know, after that first break, that was a good opportunity to get in there as that new volume sort of came in. Big volume red candle though, bit of a worry there, but it did push higher and a good exit there for around, what was it, about 23 cents or something like that. So I'll leave that there. So this sort of went sideways for a little bit, I think. Went into consolidation. I did think about taking another entry here, but I was too late to take the break. So as it came here, it broke there and should have really been in the entry as it dipped back down at 336. If I'd been quick enough to get in there, that should have been my entry, but I wasn't ready to go. I did put a order come back down there, but then I don't think it came back that far. No, then it pushed up to 357. So I had missed the break on that break of that consolidation there. It pushed higher and eventually I did jump back in, which was around here. So it made a new high, pushed up to just below $4 and was pulling back. I got in here at 374, looking for the push high. It did pull back a little bit. And then I was like, oh no, it may have done its dash. I got out at 377. But the issue here was that I only sold, instead of selling 64 shares, I only sold 63 and I still had 1 share left, which I sold at 402. So I think the entry was fine. The entry was fine at 374. I just needed to hold. I just needed to hold that until I it either stopped out or it pushed over my 10 cent sort of profit target. If I'd waited just a little bit longer, I could have got over $4 a share, and that would have been my day, really. I'm really good at cutting my winners too quickly, and holding my losers forever. I've got to get out of that habit and reverse that around to hold my winners longer and cut my losers straight away when they're not working, and just cut it with a really small loss. So I think I did that better today in some respects, and in others I didn't do that at all. So if I go back to the chart here, so you can see here what happened after that trade. I was in here at around 374 on this red candle, got out on that same red candle at 377, and at that stage I'm up $19. And yeah, if I'd sold my full position where I sold my one share, I would have been, it would have been a really good trade. If I'd held even longer and waited for an actual exit signal, I could have been getting out up here. When it hit that topping tail there, and then the red candle coming in, I could have been out in this, maybe even up here around $5, just under $5. I could have been out up here instead. But I'm not following my strategy properly when I'm not actually taking my exits at a exit signal. So yeah, even here at 336, the topping tail wasn't, was probably an exit signal there, but it might have only been down here where I got out. So, but I was happy with getting out at 336. That was a good trade. I felt that was a good trade. This one here, I think it was a really good entry, but once again, not holding to my profit target or my stop. Should really follow that, because then at least I will have bigger winners. And that one there especially, because it ripped up to $4 and then $5, pushed all the way out there. So that could have been a very good trade. Then it basically pulled back and went sideways, and I sort of hummed and hawed. The problem about this week is that, I had a $78 loss on Thursday, and before today I only needed about $30 to just get over $30 to be green on the week. So that was sort of what I went into today, this trading session, thinking, was that if I can get $30, $35, $40, then I'll be green on the week. So I would have had that here if I traded it properly on that second trade. But I didn't do that. I waited until later on, and you can see here on these trades here, I was buying when it was on the backside and just sort of flip-flopping over VWAP. And it wasn't even this trade here. I thought it's broken back through VWAP, but the volume hasn't really come in on this yet. And I bought in here expecting it to push back to 420, sort of back up to this resistance point along here. But it didn't. It reversed pretty much straight away. And I ended up selling at 387 in this candle here. So it should have been out straight away as it broke back down through VWAP, but held. And it's already pushing green here. I probably could have held it to get back into profit up here around 412. But I didn't. I waited until it came back here, bought in at 396 again. It did push up to 412, 416 in this area here, but I didn't take my profit. I was looking for 420, and I wasn't trading the price action. I was trading a target that I had in my head that I wanted it to go to. And I've done this in the past, and it often doesn't work because I'm thinking it's it's the wrong time to be trading this. It's not on a move. It hasn't got volume pushing in. Yeah, it's broken VWAP, but there's no volume. No one's actually trading it. And it's just, it's basically just in consolidation through this point here. So it's just trading through this range and it's not doing anything. So really the wrong time to be trying to get in and out. And so I was in here at 396 and then out at 372. But it doesn't show it here. But at 396 I was in with 59 shares. If I go back to my chart actually. So there were two trades today that I didn't get fills on. The first one was my own mistake. I accidentally sold 63 shares instead of 64 and then had one share remaining in the trade. That was my second trade on AMST. The third trade was fine. I bought 59 and sold 59. The third trade, I bought 59 and I actually only got filled on my first sell order 20 shares at 382 for a loss of $2.80, and then I had to manually type in 39 shares to sell the rest, and by the time I'd done that it had dropped another 10 cents, so I sold the rest at 372 for a loss of $9.36, all up a loss of just over $12. So that was kind of painful, and it's because I didn't use my preset orders where I sell on the bid with an offset of like 2 cents. So it'll put an order out on the bid 2 cents below the current bid, and it'll fill at the best price as long as it's not below, doesn't dump below that 2 cent offset. So I was selling on the bid, and that's probably why I didn't get filled properly. I don't know why I did that. But definitely lesson learned on that is to make sure that you're using your preset orders. I use those for a reason. So those two trades basically put me down into the red $1. So I'd gone from up, let's see here. I'd gone up from $19.66 to down to $11.40, and probably should have just gone, okay, I've taken a loss, I'm out. But I didn't, and then the first one took me down to $2, getting out with only 20 shares, and then I stopped out properly with the rest, and now I'm down, around $1 in the red. And then my last trade was on TOPW. And this had gone from 8.30 to 12.55, pulled back down to about 9.60, 9.50, and then ripped to 14.92, 30.97, and then again to 14.92. So I didn't trade any of that, and probably this is where I should have been trading it on the front side here, or even when it broke through VWAP here. That was a decent opportunity to get in around $10 with about 20 shares, and then ride it for $1 or $2 for $40 win. But I didn't. It had pulled back. I was looking at taking it here as it broke through VWAP here, but it's already put in these big moves here. It's on the back side of those moves, and the volume profile here, there's not as much volume now in it. So it's done this big push here to get back up over VWAP from around $11 up to $12.30. I got in here as it pulled back to $11.83, looking for it to push higher to $11.40, $11.50. It didn't. It pulled back. I could have taken profit actually, because it did go up to like 15, 12, 17, around there, 12, 12. So I could have actually taken some profit there, but I only had 20 shares. So, you know, up here around 12, 12, 12, 15, it was only around $9 profit. So I didn't take it and held it. It pulled all the way back down to $11 and then pushed all the way back up to $12.09. And this is where I should have been getting out, realizing that this isn't going to go, it's not going anywhere, and taking the profit here. I held, and as it came down here, I realized that I was doing the same thing. I'm holding my loser, down here. As it was coming through this area here, I realized that I'm holding my loser too long. I'm just holding it, hoping that it's going to rip. And then I thought it's coming into the open. Obviously I didn't know I was going to do the big dump. You know, when it was coming through here, it was pulling back and it was looking pretty weak. It was looking pretty weak through this area. So, you know, the volume profile wasn't great. The movement had gone out of it, and it was just kept on pulling back. So I decided that I would get out before it got worse, and I didn't want to hold it into the open. So that was a good decision in the end. It did mean I took a loss of around $15, I think it was. Yeah, $14.60. So that put me down $15.35 on the day. 15. Yeah. And at the open, the bottom fell out of it, and it basically dumped into what was that? 1, 2, 3. You know, 3 halts down, maybe 4 halts down. You know, so it was done. And that was it. I realized that I was down $15. I had gone from up 19 and basically reversed it and flipped it on its head, and now I'm down $15.35. Also, I didn't feel like the market didn't really have anything for me to trade at the open that I felt comfortable with to take a trade on. So I called it a day. Although SPCE did push up from 373 at the open to 407. I missed that push. It was sort of pulling back here, and I was at around, I saw it to about 415 and then saw it pull back to the VWAP, and I think I shut everything down around this time here and started doing my notes and my data sheet. So I did see it pulling up again, but it had already done this move and was sort of coming back to here by the time I had finished doing my notes. So I didn't see this break up here, but really I was like, no, it's coming to the end of my session. I finished around 10 o'clock at the latest, and I just felt I would be pushing my luck if I took any more trades, as I had traded myself out of profit today. So if we have a look at my stats, it said I took 7 trades today, 3 winning, 4 losing, but really, 2 of those trades were kind of one trade. It's just that my orders didn't get filled when I sold. So that's sort of in my spreadsheet. I have to split them to really register those trades properly. So the end of this week, I am down $44.54. Not as bad as last week, but still not good. I really do need to control those losing red days. I think I did a better job of that today, but to be honest, I was green off the bat, and I should have just walked away with $19 in my pocket and been happy with having 4 green days out of the week and still being red on the week, and I would have been red, maybe $12, I think I would have been red. But that would have been far better than, another red day. So still got 2 weeks left in the month to make back the loss and get out of the drawdown for the month, and start making my way back for the drawdown on this journey that I'm on at the moment. So unfortunately my P&L curve has been climbing back up, but now it's actually dipped further into the red. So now I've got my work cut out for me to push that back up again. So yeah, very disappointed in myself for taking that last trade, especially on TOPW. That was just not a good trade. And probably the last couple of trades on AMST as well. Really at the wrong time, just trying to push my luck, and not trading really with good decision making and sticking to my strategy. Those stocks at that time were not actually within my strategy to trade. So not a bit of a lesson learned there. It wasn't a huge red day, but it stings more because I gave back a solid green start. The lesson here: sometimes the best trade is walking away when you're up. Really appreciate you being here, and I'll see you in the next one. Hei te rā wiki.